Oftentimes, we have seen people speaking English language fluently. When we go to them and ask them where did they learn this language, they tell us they didn't go to school even. At that time, we get shocked. It is obvious to get shocked after learning that they didn't even go to school. I have seen so many people speaking this language fluently. I learned from them that they are with those people who speak this language in their daily life 24 hours, and just because of that they got used to this language. But just because we are getting education, good education, and we have been learning English since our childhood, but only as a subject and only for an examination, just because of that we get so much confused between grammars and so many things, and because of that we think English is too hard to speak. In today's video, I am going to tell you grammar's role in our spoken English. So, without making delay, let's get into the video. Why it is hard for well-educated people to speak English language? It is just because we have been learning English as a subject, and no one told us how to use English in our spoken English, and no one forced us to speak this language. But today, it is our need to speak English language for some people to get an employment, for some people to teach others, and that's why we are taking so much efforts to improve our spoken English. See, for us to improve this language, we need to learn grammar. Grammar's role is very important in our spoken English. Just because we have some knowledge about grammar, that's why we must use this grammar in our spoken English. But you just don't need to get worried about it, because we just need to learn few things in grammar. If you asked me, when I started at that time, I was told to improve this language, practice is necessary. But as I wasn't able to construct a single sentence at that time, I needed someone's guidance who would tell me how to start to practice. So at that time, I came across a video. In that video, I was told to start practicing, there is another step. That step was a grammar. But for me, to use grammar in spoken English was quite difficult, and that's why I tried to skip that video. But as I had so much urge to improve this language, and that's why I watched that video. In that video, they telling us to improve this language, we just need to learn two things, and those things were tenses and voices. See, it wasn't difficult for me because I had been learning these two things since my fifth standard, so I was used to it. But it was difficult for me to use those our grammar in my spoken English. See, we all get confused between helping verbs, and oftentimes we make mistakes. But they told me to do some written practice of sentences and voices. As I remember, I did practice for those two things for at least 15 and 20 days. And after doing some practice, I was able to construct sentences. Yes, after that, even I made so many mistakes, but I continued speaking in this language, and that's why today I am able to speak this language. So I am suggesting you must practice tenses as much as possible, and voices even. Written practice, give at least 2-3 days for a single tense, and continue this process for 15 and 20 days. After that, you would be able to construct and make sentences. And that's how you can start your practice. This is grammar's rule in our spoken English. Using grammar, you can also improve your spoken English. So you must do some written practice and start your journey towards your English communication there. Thank you for watching my video.